Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a brand new series. I am so excited to bring you guys today. It is March Madness Bracketology 1.0 for 2022. We just had the college basketball season kick off on Tuesday night. A few upsets already happening. I want to do these videos maybe once every 2 weeks, so I think that's bi-weekly. I think that's once every 2 weeks, where I just update you guys on the top overall seeds, the movement within the brackets. So kicking it off, here is the brand new 2022 bracket matrix. As you guys can see, the bracket matrix is just kind of a composite of the overall average of where teams currently are at. You've got Gonzaga as the only clear number one seed across basically every preseason bracket except for one, where they're a 2 seed. Kansas, also a 1 seed. UCLA, who is currently second overall in the AP poll. UCLA, by the way, have you ever seen a program get turned around with one March Madness run? I feel like the entire UCLA program, this was a team, they were in the first four. And most people thought they were going to lose to Tom Izzo and Michigan State. Most people thought they weren't even going to be in the, the whole 64 team tournament. They end up going to the Final Four. This year, they're a top 2 or 3 team in the nation. It's amazing. And then Michigan, the Big Ten, expected to be unbelievable this year. We've got Villanova on the 2 line along with Purdue, who has a very, very experienced team. Many top players returning for Purdue. Texas as well, and then Baylor, who I am not buying this year at all. Baylor, the national champions last year, impressively beating Gonzaga. I do not like them this year. Duke as a 3 seed. With them, it's the same story every year. Can their one-and-done freshmen, are they good enough? Are they skilled enough to carry that team deep into the tournament? Illinois, another 3 seed. Kentucky and Alabama. On the 4 line, Ohio State, Houston, who made the Final Four last year, Memphis, and Oregon. And you guys can see a team like St. Bonaventure as a 6 seed from the A10. Now, this site is also a really good tool to see who are the preseason conference favorites for some of these maybe lesser known conferences like the Mountain West. It looks like San Diego State, the favorite in the Mountain West, although you also have Colorado State right there. But you guys can see like the A10, there's Richmond, Ohio Valley, Belmont the favorite, Conference USA, UAB. The MAC favorite currently is Buffalo, who played decently last night against Michigan, lost by 12, I think, in a high-scoring game. The Big West favorite, UC Santa Barbara. The Atlantic Sun favorite, Liberty. The Summit favorite is South Dakota State. How about South Dakota State? New Mexico State. New Mexico State in football has a massive game this weekend against Alabama. They're the favorite to win their conference. The Horizon League favorite, Wright State. So you guys can see some things. I really like Iona this year. They're the Metro Atlantic favorite, and then we've got the Ivy League favorite in Yale here. Now, I also want to give you guys a quick preview on the KenPom rankings at the start of the season. Gonzaga, you take a look at the overall rank, the clear and far number 1 overall team, plus 31. The second team is plus 27, so that's almost a 4-point gap between number 1 and number 2. Michigan is the current number 2, which maybe will surprise a few people. Kansas coming in at 3. They got a big win on opening night. Purdue, once again, the gist of the whole KenPom preseason rankings for 2022, I mean, they love the Big Ten. Look at these Big Ten teams. Big Ten, Big Ten, Big Ten. Who's the next Big Ten? Big Ten. I mean, there's just so many. The Big Ten, once again, is loaded. Surprising UCLA at number 7, a little bit lower than I thought UCLA would be in the top 2 or top 3. There's Duke after their big opening night win. Ohio State almost lost to Akron. Akron's a good MAC school, but Ohio State, it'll be interesting. E.J. Liddell is a beast. He's my National Player of the Year pick. He's unbelievable. But just some overall ranks. Obviously, what I always like doing, I like going to the worst team, and it seems to always either be Chicago State or Mississippi Valley State, also Maryland Eastern Shore. These teams, so currently there's 358 teams in Division I basketball, and Mississippi Valley State. Look at that. Holy crap. That's almost a 6-point difference right there. between those two teams. So Mississippi Valley State expected to be terrible. This is another really fun stat to use if you are, your favorite team is playing. You want to see how well they played in a certain game. You can take a look at these overall rankings. This has Gonzaga 1, UCLA 2, but it's just a fun site. So Ohio State faced Akron this past Tuesday on opening night, and they only won by 1 point. you guys can kind of see something that's really cool, at least I think it is, the overall game score. So Ohio State, out of 100, had a 66 game score because they beat Akron, which is a MAC school, and it's a quadrant 3 opponent. They beat them by 1 point. So the game score is not going to be very good, 66 out of 100. But if you take it a team like, who had a big win? Duke had a big win, I believe, right? You take a team like Duke, take a look at what their game score was, 96. They beat Kentucky. That's a quadrant 1 neutral site win. So their game score was 96 out of 100. So this is just a cool set that I don't think many people know about. Also, they do have Player of the Year standings, which is pretty sweet. And as you can see, my guy EJ Liddell sitting at number 2 right now, coming off 25-11 in the opening night game against Akron. So just a cool overall site to look at stuff when it comes to analytics. Maybe see some more context. Maybe your team lost, but they faced a really good team and played really well. They're going to have a good game score. I want to take a look at Virginia. That was the major upset. We had Virginia losing, I think, to Navy. Where Virginia's all the way down to 67th here. They were ranked like 25th in the AP poll. They had a game score of just 23. I mean, you lose to Navy. That's a quad 3. As you guys can see, the different quad games. So that's quad 3. You're facing a team like Radford. That's going to be quadrant 4. Houston away. That's a quad 1 game. And you guys can see the different quadrants that goes into it as well. But losing to Navy, you only have a game score of 23 out of 100. I don't know if any team has gotten a game score of 100 yet this year. That would be something interesting to look at, but that's just something interesting. And then every time I do an update, I will take a look at Joe Leonards' latest current bracket. He has Gonzaga as the number 1 overall seed. When it comes to Gonzaga, I'll say this. It's just tough to pick another team to be the number 1 overall seed due to Gonzaga's conference. You could think Michigan's better than Gonzaga. You could think even UCLA, a team like that. But these teams, a team like Michigan is going to lose several games in Big Ten play just due to how good the Big Ten is. You go on the road to Ohio State. You go on the road to Purdue. You know, these teams, it's such a good conference. You're going to lose games. Gonzaga has that conference, that West Coast conference, to where you're going to be favored by 20 points against basically everyone, and you're going to be able to run your record up. Now, I know Gonzaga, or at least I think Gonzaga has a tough non-conference, which they should. Every year, Gonzaga should be scheduling a very tough non-conference if they're going to stay in that West Coast conference. Due to how easy it is, you need tough non-conference games. I think they do have a hard non-conference schedule this year, but it's, again, they're going to be able to just trounce through opponents and really get through, pile up wins, go like 33-1 or 29-2 or something like that, as opposed to teams like Michigan, Purdue, even UCLA. The Pac-12 isn't great, but it's certainly better than the conference that Gonzaga is in. That's the main reason why Gonzaga, I think, is the kind of the consensus number 1 overall seed. They're definitely a really good team, and they have. It says here the top line gets a small tweak. Michigan regaining the number 1 seed and Texas dropping to 2. I'm not exactly sure why, but you can take a look at some of the teams that could be on the bubble this year. Florida, BYU, Colorado, St. Mary's, the last 4 byes, last 4 in. So these teams would be participating in the first 4 games. San Diego State, St. John's, Rutgers, who almost lost to Lehigh last night, and Washington State, and then you've got Mississippi State, Seton Hall. Seton Hall has a massive non-conference game with Ohio State this year. Iowa, Oklahoma, and then you got some teams over here getting a shout out in the next 4 out category. How about Arizona, Drake, Nevada, and then Creighton? This is the overall tournament, the overall bracket. You've got Ohio State as a 4 seed. I don't like that they're in Gonzaga's region. That would not be a great draw there. Michigan State sitting at a 7 seed. I think they'll get a 5 or a 6 at least, Michigan State. UCLA as a 1 seed. Michigan as a 1 seed, taking on Yale. So just overall brackets. Bracketology from Joe Lenardi, I believe this is still the preseason. There's Iona. I would say Iona's going to be a really good team this year, guys. They're kind of my mid-major team that I'm going to be really watching to see how good they are. Some of these games are crazy, though. I'm going to put a few scores up on the screen just because it's so funny to see these teams face like Division III schools. Some of the scores are hilarious. I tweeted about it, guys. By the way, follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. You guys know how it is. But this is just something I'm going to be doing maybe bi-weekly, so twice every month. So this is just something I wanted to start, give everyone a summary. Some people want me to do like betting picks. It's just not. There's just no way you can do betting picks. Like, I could make videos on betting picks because the lines of these games don't come out until like a day before the game is played. So if I were to release a betting video on who I like, that video would only have like a grace period of 24 hours maybe before the game actually happens. The advantage with college football is those lines come out the Sunday before, and it's almost like a full week in between. So the lines come out on Sunday for the next week. I make my videos Monday. They get out there Monday, meaning people can view my videos Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning, and then the games take place. With college basketball, if I were to do who do I like tomorrow, when they release the lines, because tomorrow's lines I don't even think are out right now. That would be Friday. Right now it's Thursday. I think the Friday lines come out around like 4 o'clock this afternoon. There's just no way I can do college football videos on who I like, but I will say, college basketball. But I will say with college basketball, during the winter, on a Saturday in February, it gets crazy with some of these parlays. You guys should see. I won a parlay once. It was like $2,300, like a 10-team parlay. There's literally, you could bet on like 300 games. Like the Saturdays in the winter with college basketball, how many games they have is absurd. It's pretty cool. But overall, guys, so just kicking this off, Bracketology 1.0. I did have a bracket last year when I played in ESPN's little conference, ESPN Bracket Challenge or whatever, and I came in the 69th percentile. I'm not kidding. It's documented. There's a video on it. But I did a bracket, and it was terrible, and then I started doing better. I was in like I had one of the worst brackets in history through the first weekend, and then it got better because Baylor went really far, and Gonzaga, or whatever, was it Gonzaga and Baylor I had in the final or whatever. That's kind of how my bracket got better. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. Once again, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.